They tried to get him. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Ajay Patel Show. My name is Ajay Patel. This is episode 40. Episode 40. That's pretty big, pretty solid. This week, we're going to be talking about, obviously, the most popular story in the news. Trump gets rushed off stage after loud sounds appear. After that, we're going to be talking about me going to a rave. Yes, I went to a rave at the age of 29, and it was okay. After that, we'll get into the Hawk Tuah girl that everyone's been raving about. Everyone's all of a sudden learned something. And then we'll close out with the infamous Ambani Wedding. But first, of course, episode 40. You know, I try to bring a whole streak of like having a beverage. Oh, look, this is what I'm drinking today. Please sponsor me, XYZ. But today, I wanted to have a 40. You know, for those that don't know what that is, a 40. It's a big can. Right? It's a big old can. Now, this is not a 40. Hold up. Let me get the ASMR in. I don't want to drink it out of a can like an animal. So give me a second here. I don't really have beer cups, huh? Today, I'm drinking Golden Road Brewing Mango Cart. Now, I don't know why I've enjoyed this so much. I don't know if it's a bit of the Indian in me enjoying the mango flavor. But it's pretty solid. If you come across it, definitely try it. I'll put that there. So breaking down probably the most infamous story, most popular, the biggest story that will probably come across all year is the Trump assassination attempt. Now, I had no idea really how to break this down, where to start from, what to dissect first. So I try to do my best, laid out a couple bullet points. So let's start from the top of what actually happened. Now, Trump's giving a speech. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit condensed because last week I talked about politics for almost 20 minutes, and that was my bad. I didn't realize I was so passionate about it, so I'm going to try to keep this a little tight. So here we go. Trump's giving a speech at a rally, Pennsylvania. Shots go off. He gets down immediately as if he were just hit. By the appearance of blood and the stunned effect, it shows that it kind of appears as if he was. Secret Service finally gets into effect. They get him off stage. Drive him off, and then the shooter is finally identified, killed in a moment's notice, and the story starts unraveling. Now, the news itself has always been a problem, right? There's never been a truth. There's never been a news outlet that you can be like, oh, yeah, I believe this news outlet 100%. Democrats have their news outlets, Republicans have their news outlets, and then, TMZ has their news outlet. And in this world of speed, right, who can get the story out the fastest? Who can get the story out the fastest and get the most clicks, along with does it drive the narrative we want? And it was clearly an assassination attempt, right? No one was just clapping in the election and Trump goes down, makes this blood come out of his ear, and then stands up, puts his fist up, gets one of the meanest pictures in American history, and then goes off stage. There was no, after loud sounds after an election. And if you go through a lot of the news articles that were posted that day, that's what it kind of was framed as. Now, understandingly, those are a bunch of Democratic news outlets. Wall Street Journal, probably New York Times, saying Trump rushed off stage. That was the headline. That is not even close to what happened. We are lucky that this didn't actually happen. Because we would be looking at anarchy. Now, at first, let's get into the question of, was it staged? Was it staged? I don't know. I believed it. At first, I did believe it was staged. At first, I was kind of joking with my friends, and I was like, this actually happened at Warner Bros. Studios right here in Burbank. I was actually on set. I was part of it. Did you see me in the back with my phone? And then, you just kind of start seeing these stories unravel, and then people's, videos captured during the rally, they start getting online. Then they start circulating through your TikTok feed, your Instagram feed, and it finally hits your eyes, right? Obviously, these are some of the most hot videos right now. Videos from the assassination attempt. How could it not be? And then people were kind of saying, it can't be fake because someone died. Now, let's disprove that right now. Someone can die and it can still be fake. If you've ever watched The Boys or if you've ever watched a good conspiracy movie, people die in the conspiracy. Now, I understand. If you believe in all conspiracies, then you're also, a sheep yourself. I get it. And then, so once all these videos kind of start coming to my attention, okay, people in the audience were quite literally pointing at the shooter on the roof. They watched him get up on the roof, pull out his rifle. They were still watching Trump speak at the same time. And then all the chaos ensues. So then it becomes this story of, do I believe whether it was a staged action scene to kind of sway the election one way? Or do I believe it's negligence on the part of Secret Service / law enforcement? Now, we've seen this a lot. This being, if you're listening audibly, because I'm pointing at my right hand, which is the negligence of law enforcement. Now, look, I speak no foul intent on law enforcement. I understand they go out there and do their thing every day. They're risking their lives. Salute to y'all. But which story is more believable? Which story would you believe more? Someone that's risking getting shot in the head to win an election that they were already winning. This wasn't like leaning one way or it was teetering in the middle. No, this was already red. November was red. Red November, my boy. There was no point in doing this. So then I kind of get onto the full team of, I think this was real. I have no reason to believe that this was a fake attempt. So anyone that kind of starts thinking that this is staged continuously, it's like, yo, no, this was real, my boy. Now, I started painting some pictures. I started not fooling around. I started kind of just joking around with, Trump used to be in WWE. I don't know if y'all know that. He used to wrestle with Bobby Lashley, Vince McMahon, and he did WrestleMania one year. So the dude knows how to cut his ear in a moment's notice, right? Oh, shots go off. He can go down and, cut his ear, make it appear as he's bleeding, stand up and do his thing. But then you hear the audio behind the moment, and it does seem very genuine. The dude was trying to put his shoes back on. I've never been shot, and I'd hope not to, knock on, But in a moment's notice like that, the frazzleness you kind of hear in someone's voice, you do start to believe it. It's not as staged as you think. Now, there's a lot of videos hidden, coming out where there's this lady in the black hat. Oh, pay attention to the lady in the black hat. She doesn't even react when the shots are fired. And that's just America, right? That's just America, where it's just like, if you hear gunshots nowadays, people don't even react. People don't even react because that's just normal. I swear to y'all, this story came across me that said, oh, Trump assassination attempt. And I quite literally was like, yeah, that makes sense. My second thought was, hey, thank God the guns are finally there versus schools. Finally we get, something over here versus over here. Now, remember, this is a satirical podcast. This is all for jokes, entertainment. We're just talking. We're just having fun here. Nothing is to ensue violence. I don't want to try to push people a certain way. This is all for fun. That's my disclaimer real quick. I probably should have put that at the beginning. But going back to the moment of it all going down, right? I was a bit like, hey, why aren't people in the crowd freaking out more? I've watched a lot of videos on different shootings, right? The one that happened in Vegas, a lot of things that have happened in Orlando. And people are frazzled, right? They hear shots, they go crazy, as they should. It's their life at hand. And at the rally, I understand, what are you supposed to do other than just get down, right? You can't start running left and right. What do you do? So the stories have started to kind of just unraveling all week. You start seeing more and more footage. You start seeing more details, and you're like, oh, wow, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe that happened. And there's a big red flag on what happened with the Secret Service. Right? He had, I think, 20 personal detail. Everyone's kind of making fun of the woman that was in charge, and she's had this whole mission of pushing for equality. And it's like, oh, well, we shouldn't have that. Look, I'm not trying to go down that road. I'm not trying to go down that road and all these pictures and videos of her, struggling to holster her gun. That's not what it's about. But it is quite just crazy. It's insane, bro. Like, there are videos of the sniper on the Secret Service detail, right? Staring at the shooter on the opposite roof. Now, this Secret Service kind of remind me of some of my Call of Duty teammates. I won't say names, but y'all know who you are. Where if you see someone pointing a gun at me and you on my team, I fully expect you to take him out first. I don't expect you to look at him, look back up out of the scope of your gun. The scope isn't lying to you, my boy. There's no TV screen on that scope. You're seeing exactly what's happening in real life. I don't know whether he thought, oh, is that person also Secret Service? And that's crazy, right? I assume people are supposed to know, hey, I got this person over here, this person over here. I know every rooftop that we're covering. Who the hell is that? I fully expect you to take that person out first. It's so crazy. It's blasphemous to me where you have a sniper quite literally trained onto a person, targeted onto a person that is pointing a gun at, president-elect, or what would the term be? The former president, I guess. Let's just go with that term. And you're looking up out of your scope to confirm. How, if you see anyone with a gun at this stuff, how do you not just immediately think, oh, okay, that needs to be neutralized immediately? It's so crazy to me. Like, and then you start seeing all these videos of people being like, hey, look, like we during the whole time we saw this person get on the roof with a gun, kind of army crawl, bear crawl up the roof, pull out their rifle, get in position, get comfortable, have a snack. I think he went Instagram live for a little bit. I don't know, maybe he took a nap. And then pull out the gun, aim, and then miss. We will not remember this dude's name. I know it's some 3-word name, like just like John Wilkes Booth, but we won't remember this dude's name. 20-year-old, I'm sure he has some stuff going on, as always, as they always say, oh, he probably struggled from XYZ. He's not a terrorist. He's a terrorist. Let's stop, beating around the bush about it. He's a terrorist, straight up. But, he just might not be, he might be something else that protects him, but we won't go into that. So the stories continue to unravel. I'm sure more and more stuff will come out about this. A lot of things that are happening is the heat towards Biden, right? I think previously, in a week prior, he said, we need to put the crosshairs on Trump. And I think sometimes what these presidents, just the kind of the spokesperson for the Republicans and the Democrats don't realize is that the amount of power that they have in their words. Right. Obviously, Trump did it with the whole Capitol, the January 6th stuff, storming the Capitol, with just a thing of, hey, we need to take this country back, and people storm the Capitol. So saying something like, hey, we need to have them in our crosshairs, it's not a good look. This guy was clearly winning. He had already won, right? We already knew November was going to be red. No one thought after that that debate that we talked about the previous week, and then also what happened at that conference recently where he called Vice President Trump. He's called Putin. He called someone else Putin. I get it. As Democrats, some of the crazy Democrats where you're just like, we need to do something about this. This isn't going very well. It's crazy. This is anarchy. And it's just like, I am very, very glad. Very, very glad that it just nicked his ear. He was able to get back up and put that fist up. Now, that was one of the hardest things I've ever seen. I don't care if you're a fan or not. I don't care if you're voting for him or not. I mean no harm by this. But imagine you get shot. Bah! And you come up and you put your fist up. That man's 70-something years old. I duck if I hear the dishwasher beep too many times. It was one of the meanest pictures ever. And shout out to those photographers. I hope they get credit. I hope they go viral for it, because it was insane. But going back to the point of, I'm really very, very thankful that this was not a successful assassination, because anarchy comes after that, right? You get the far right, who are all for guns, starting to take stuff into their own hand. And then the far left that want to take stuff into their own hands. Back and forth. And this doesn't end civilly in what world, I thought it was quite comical where, the picture of his bloody ear comes out and people are like, oh my gosh, he could have been, he was a centimeter away from dying. And then you see people on Instagram, what about the children in Gaza? What about what about Hamas? Oh my gosh. Bro, oh my gosh. Can we just have a moment? Can we just talk about what's going on here? The things that are actually in our control? The things that are actually happening in our backyard. Just today, Trump calls, I don't know if he was actually out there today, but the word comes out that J.D. Vance will be his vice president running companion. Now, I don't really know this guy. People are saying that he was once a critic of Trump, so it's pretty cool that he's now on his team, someone to kind of balance out your craziness. But the real story going around is J.D. Vance's wife is Indian, which pretty cool. Not gonna lie, it's pretty cool. Kamala kind of let us down, so it's pretty cool to have another Indian in the White House, possibly. Well, when November comes, it'll happen. Or else I'm storming the Capitol. Just kidding. This is all satirical. Please remember that. Please do not get me banned off YouTube. Getting off that topic and closing it by just saying, everyone relax. Neither Biden nor Trump have that much power to change your life. Let me go ahead and tell you that right now. I understand. Oh, who's this YouTuber with 10 views? Why would we listen to him? I'm smarter than you think. And I'm telling you right now that these two guys do not play a factor in your life. Do not fall for this game. Do not fall for this game that they got you in, that they get you spinning your wheels. Oh, make sure you post this on your story. Make sure you worry about this tax. Make sure you worry about this. You go get your money right. You go take care of your family, and that's all you need to worry about. Do it however you must. Do it with whatever rules are in place. You don't have any power in your court to change any of this stuff. Work on yourself, work on your family, work on your community if you can. Tackle the pieces that you can. Do not worry about these two dudes. And that is my official message. Thank you. That was pretty good, huh? I might run myself. I went to a rave. Yeah. Pretty crazy. Friday night was this Indian rave party. Now, obviously, this is not normally my cup of tea. I'm not a big rave music person. I do like house music. In my later years, as I've gotten past the age of 25, really enjoyed house music. It's much more calming. Gets me in a little upbeat mood. I like the grooves to it. I like it when it's mixed with familiar sounds. It's a good time. I kind of talked about how the no nuzzer sound is very prevalent right now. But the only reason I went to this rave was because a friend of mine, Sri Hari, as a lot of people know him as Dr. Srimix, was performing. So was I being a bit of a groupie? Yeah, but I also wanted to kind of show face and show just like, hey, I'm supporting you because I'm trying to get him to DJ our wedding. And I don't know if he does a lot of weddings, but I know he lives in, probably shouldn't say that on here, but he's in the area and we want to get him as our DJ. So we went to this rave. Starting with, it was a college party. We show up at the venue, and it was right down the street, which was very convenient. But even by 11 p.m., he told us that I think he was going on at 12. It was 11 p.m., and we're still sitting in the house, kind of pregame, and just playing a little couple card games here and there. And I was ready to go to sleep. I don't know what it is. I do love partying. I love hanging out with people. I love music. I just love having a good time. But I don't know what it is. But by the time, how many times am I going to say? But by the time 11:30 came around, I was done for. But I was like, come on, you know what? We got to do this. We bought the tickets. Let's just get out there. We go out there. The venue was familiar because we went to a No Nuzzer event there, which is a little bit more house music-y and much more popular, I will say. I was kind of disappointed by the turnout, but also kind of glad because it wasn't crowded. So you're not bumping shoulders with everyone, wrestling someone to get a Modelo at the bar. We get to the club, and once again, it was a college party. 18-year-olds everywhere. Now, I don't trust anyone under the age of 25. I'm just going to put that out there. I love the young generation. I think they got a lot of skills. I think they're gonna be doing some dope shit. I think they're gonna have life a lot more easier than me. But I just don't feel safe around them. I just don't feel safe around them. Look at the assassination dude. I think he was 20 years old. Nowhere do I go and I see the average age under 25. Do I feel safe? Old people, I love. I love old people. Sure, they might be racist, but they don't mean you any harm. They just want a different server. That's it. What does that matter? The young person has a gun. I do not trust the young people. So we get to this club having a decent time. We're trying to fit in a little bit. And boy, oh boy. Boy, I haven't said that in a minute. But you got dudes wearing Jordans. You got girls making out with girls. Girls making out with guys. And look, this stuff is like, oh, cool. This is pretty fun to watch. It's very fun to watch. Because you know that this was you at one point. This was you. You can't deny it. You were at the frat parties. You were at the sorority parties. You were doing all of this stuff. You were this weirdo kid wearing a button-down, jeans that you've probably had for like 5 years, going around trying to talk to girls. Hey, bro, come on. Hey, bro, go talk to her. Go talk to her. Some of these DJs are a different breed. You can tell the gap. It's like any profession in the arts or the entertainment industry where it's like, the skill gap between this person and this person. And then you see it in the next person where it's like, oh shit, there is a difference here. Where it's whether it's just musicality, the entertainment factor, maybe they're a little bit good on the mic, something that's in their repertoire that sets them apart from the person just a couple notches below them. Now, don't get me wrong. He had to keep it a little bit rave style, so the music was much more aggressive. And it's like, oh shit, like my ears were bleeding. But, it was a fun time just kind of going out, finally just getting loose a little bit, burning some calories after 12 o'clock, coming home, having a grilled cheese, going to sleep. So overall, can't complain. All right, let's get into this Hawk Tuah girl. I just love that this is her name. The Hawk Tuah girl. Imagine. What a dope name. Like Hawk Tuah, we all know what she was talking about. Right? I'm trying to keep this relatively appropriate because I think my mom's getting closer to watching one of these episodes that I'm trying to avoid, getting canceled by her. Haley Welch. I want to make sure I get her name right. Haley Welch. Welch. You think she owns the fruit snacks? Is it Welsh or Welch? Anyways, Haley, the Hawk Tuah girl. Obviously, if you haven't heard of her, you need to just download TikTok and you'll see what happened. She's standing outside a bar. One of these street interviewers come up to her. Hey, something, a dude. Obviously known for saying the words Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing. And she did it very cutely. Very, very Southern girl. Very Southern Debbie vibes. And she blows up. She blows up. Now, for good reason, right? I kind of said it in that episode with Sandeep where it was like, you just need a moment. You just need a moment in the sun and you could take off. It doesn't matter what you do, what you say, who's interviewing you. Because if you could tell me the interviewer's name right now, I'll Venmo you $50. It doesn't matter. As long as you're on camera doing something that everyone starts kind of, clicking towards a little bit. Clicking toward, oh shit, what? Ooh, I gotta see that again. Oh my gosh, yo, did you see this? Did you see this? You blow up. And obviously, am I jealous? Sure. But a round of applause for her. Oh my gosh. And now she's killing it, as you exactly should. You take this wave of being famous and you ride it till the wheels fall off. Because I don't really know any actual talents that she has, I don't know whether she can sing, dance, act, write, do more skits. But it won't hit the same as that one moment. So I think people will kind of tune in to see her on, let's say, different podcasts. Maybe she does a little guest appearance here and there. Maybe you can hire her to be part of your bottle service. All of that she should ride till the wheels fall off. 100%. Get paid. Do your thing, get paid. She's going to blow up on TikTok. She's going to blow up on Instagram. All her socials will probably make her money for the rest of her life. And then people will get tired of her. People will get tired and be like, all right, I'm good. And then they'll move on. But who cares? Who cares? If I'm Hawk Tuah girl, I'm doing exactly what she's doing. I'm riding this social media wave. I know probably the steam is going to go out, and then I'll just live off residuals and maybe just pick up a little 9 to 5 job towards the end of it once people forget who I am. And you're good. And you're good. You just need money now, and it'll take care of you for the rest of your life. Now, there's been a lot of backlash, right? Like, oh, the interviewers aren't getting their spot in the sun. It's like, bro, who cares? This is what happens. Name any other interviewer that, became famous based off of, an interview they did. Remember Lil Terrio? Do y'all remember the dude that was actually recording Lil Terrio? Ooh, no, you don't. You remember Lil Terrio. I bet you don't know what he looks like right now, because that's what happens. In a couple years, we won't know what Hawk Tuah is doing. But it's a fun moment right now, the Ambani wedding. Now, we kind of talked about the pre-wedding celebration with Rihanna there, and I forgot who else performed. And now the actual wedding is here. And this has just been just more and more on steroids, right? This is just probably the most biggest, lavish wedding we will ever see. Maybe not ever, right? He'll probably have kids, and then there'll just be a new layer of having weddings where you can have even more celebrities, even more events, even, a bigger country. I don't know. I don't know how this scales up from here, but I'm sure it can. And notable people that arrived that, people were kind of just talking about: Justin Bieber, John Cena, which that's pretty fun. The Kardashians, Beckham's, everyone was there. And this is what happens when you get to a certain stratosphere of money. You can do whatever. You can invite whoever. You can play with whoever. It's just that fun. When you have $1 billion and you're throwing a wedding for, I think it was $325 million, you can bring in whoever. You're quite literally just throwing money at people. And who says no? Oh, I can go to quite literally the biggest wedding of all time. Why not? I can wear this designer. I can wear this. They're going to give me that for free. They're going to take care of me. They're going to drive me here and here with security everywhere. Why not? Now, the pros and cons of the grandness of this wedding. One, it becomes much more normalized, and it makes Indian people more cool. It is what it is. 100%. It's 100% true. Nothing I said in this podcast is a lie. It has made it much more normal, right? You see it on your feed. You see, oh, wow, this is what they do. This is how grand it is. All these people are participating. This is so cool. This is so neat. This is what they wear. This is what they do. Oh, there's an elephant. There's a horse. Now, all of these things, let's say 15 years ago, were joking material. If anyone saw this stuff, they could flame your ass up for it. For a good reason. It is what it is. It's not normal to them, right? So then they can make fun of it. This is where jokes come from. More than, you're doing something that's not normal. So the adoption of the culture has become much more widespread than I thought it would ever be. Where the Kardashians are participating. Justin Bieber's at this thing. Now that, I think we obviously knew John Cena would eventually make his way there. But this is the coolest part of it, where it's just normalized. Now, the bad piece of it is this. As someone that is currently in the midst of planning a wedding, and you start wrapping your head around, oh my gosh. Now, I've been to a lot of Indian weddings. I know how much couples have spent, and I feel for them. I understand it's not, the most easiest of things. I understand a lot of times the parents cover it. Probably most of the time the parents cover it, because more than likely at the time you're getting married, you don't have the cash to cover said event. And also, I think the majority of people that attend these weddings are your parents' people, not really your people. So, I kind of get the balance. But in the midst of all this wedding planning, and you start talking about a wedding planner, a decorator, a DJ, this caterer, this venue, this hall, and each thing you think of, put $10,000 on it. Oh, that's 10,000. That's 10,000. That's 10,000. That's 10,000. And eventually you get to $100,000, $200,000, maybe $300,000 wedding. On average. This is on average, right? Obviously, people go higher, people go lower. The people that go lower probably just did, a small little COVID wedding. Props to them. Awesome. Great for you. I'm sure you don't regret it. But as I've been wrapping my head around this, the idea of when did this get so out of hand comes into mind. I don't know if I talked about it on here, But the weddings used to be in a mandir, it used to be in a temple. You didn't have to do all this decorating. You didn't have to do all this food stuff because that would just come through the temple. All you have to do is get your nice outfits, invite all these people. They show up here, and then you have a wedding. Fun, awesome, cool. You're also meeting a lot more people than you ever have in your life. My parents didn't have this big group of college friends that I do. And my group isn't that big, right? Isha has a much larger group than I. But the group is relatively much larger than what my parents had. Now you add on, I have a sibling that also has her own college group of friends. My brother-in-law, his own college group of friends. And I want all of them to be at the celebration, right? These are people that I've spent so many years with now. And it's a fun time. I want them there. But at the same time, it's like, at what cost? At what cost? When Isha and I first started dating, this is going to be a little funny to most of y'all. We thought, you know what? When we get married as two younger siblings, we're going to have maybe a 150-person wedding, and we'll be able to pull it off for $30,000. And we were idiots. We were absolute morons, bro. And this is what just happens, where I think a lot of people approach their wedding like this, where it's like, you know what? I'm going to be different. I'm going to keep my wings this wide and try to accomplish all this differently. And then eventually you start getting this reality check, slowly and slowly, until you're back in that box. You're back in that box where people that haven't been married yet, they're like, oh, you should have done it like this. You could have done this. You could have saved money here. You can't. All roads lead to the same destination at some point. So with this Ambani wedding, tying it all the way back, where this is going to become a new normalcy, the grandness of it. Oh, you should have pre-wedding events now. You should have these people. If why have 300 people when you can have 600? You should invite this whole family and also invite this whole family. And this grandness of it is just becoming more and more. Now going into the outfits piece of it. Now that now that celebrities have adopted to wear these items. Let's say I'm a designer. I'm designer X. And I made this dress, and I used to have this clothing line that people were able to get an outfit for $300 for. You can get your wedding outfit from me for $300. I happen to have Kim Kardashian wear my dress at this Ambani wedding. What do you think is going to happen to my line of dresses for $300? That's going to skyrocket immediately. All of those are going to double in cost. Now, I'm using $300 to be conservative here, but that's what's happening. Now, so I love the adoption. Oh my gosh, this is becoming such a global phenomenon. Wow, we are known as the people that have the grandest, most illustrious weddings. But it also cripples us so heavily. It's crazy. It's insane. And this isn't going to be able to continue. The spending habits of our parents were a certain way because they knew that this wedding was coming. Right? They saved up to have this wedding. Now we're in this boat. We don't save like that. We buy cameras and lights and laptops and microphones, and we like to start podcasts. We're having kids at a later age. We're saving till a later age. And it's like when it's heading in a strange direction. It's a strange direction. I'm sure everything will be fine, right? Woo, I'm sure everything will be fine. But these are just some of my observations on the wedding overall, kind of the trend of what's happening and where things are going. But shout out to the Ambani family. I appreciate y'all for making us look as dope as we are. And with that all being said, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all joining me on episode 40. I am going to go finish this, and I'll see you guys next week. And remember, these politicians don't really mean anything. Cheers and goodbye.